We are live. Hey guys, it's Fitz here. So we're going to be doing Clan League week number 6 now between LRM Evolution and Noobs team. We do have our awesome co-commentator Frost here, who's actually been on the TV admin team, but he's been slightly not doing commentary. He's actually the person that brought the awesome overlay to us. So, yeah.
Oh, hello guys, and this is Frost, also known as Iron Frost, and yeah, I'm glad I'm doing commentary with Fitz today because I haven't gotten a chance to do so in a long time, and well, we'll see how it goes, and let's get this game started and see the progression of the action in it.
Alright, yeah, let's start the game. First game, we had Sniper's Ridge. Remember, this is series number 1. There is no 2v2 to be casted, so yeah. So spawning the top right as the yellow Zerg, if I can get my thing to work. Okay, as the yellow Zerg, it will be Noob Team's Go-Go, who I've never heard nothing about. So I'll be interested how he's gonna play. And then spawning the bottom right, it will be a ZVZ. It'll be the teal Zerg Backaroo, which sounds very familiar for LRM's evolution. So yeah. So what do you think about the Sniper's Ridge for a ZVZ?
Sniper's Ridge. From personal experience, I don't really like 4-player matches for ZVZ because of the whole scouting problem. The issue we have here with the yellow Zerg named Gogo, who's scouting in the wrong direction right now, and he might not be able to see what his opponent is going to do and go for a wrong build order like a 12 hatch. And in ZVZ, scouting is an important thing. The earlier you see your opponent's build order, the faster you can respond to his aggression or economical advantage that he's trying to take.
Yeah, with the consistent, like, super aggressive playstyle, like a playstyle of ZVZ anyway. So I mean, you don't know if he's going for that, like that macro hatch or whatever, and you don't. If you don't see it beforehand, you may not be able to punish it fast enough, and then now you have an edge in a mirror matchup, which is a huge deal in a mirror matchup anyway.
Oh yeah, and as I was talking about not knowing what your opponent is going to go for, this is exactly the situation right now because Teal Zerg named Bakuro, yeah, I believe, is going for not an overpull, it was a 9 pull with the gas, which means he's going to go for speed links. And Yellow Zerg went for 12 pull, I believe that was.
Yeah, he's playing more of an econ game right now.
He's playing an econ game, but 12 hatch is usually a better kind of response to the aggressive 9 pool speed links. If you can manage the micro, then you'll have a lot more advantage economically over your opponent.
Yeah, and I think though with this Overlord coming up though, I think Gogo should be able to figure out where. Yeah, he's gonna be playing out of a drone. Maybe no, it's probably just putting down a hatchery. But I'd expect a drone scout eventually coming out, just because he should know where his spawn location is now because of the Overlord that he sees.
And yeah, we do see that. The yellow Zerg, I'm sorry, I still can't get the names together. He is scouting in the right direction right now. He's not gonna send a drone, however, because in ZVZ, every single drone counts.
Yeah.
For Zerg in general, early in the game, you try not to use drones as a scout because hatchery is the only building that Zerg can produce from, as we all know, and you have to use all your drones to mine minerals because you're going to use larvae to build other units.
Yeah.
And that's just the game style that Zergs have. And the other thing I have to say is that ZVZ is the only gameplay where Zerg can actually go aggressive the whole game time.
Yeah.
Unlike in ZVT and ZVP is usually when Zerg have to defend till they have 3 or 4 expansions, and then they pretty much they try to eliminate their opponent by suffocating them economically.
Yeah.
So, what do you think is going to happen right now? Do you think the yellow Zerg named Gogo is going to be able to pull off this defense, or is he in trouble right now?
I think he's going to lose that hatchery, and I think that might just be... when that hatchery goes down, it's sometimes not the biggest kill, but like now he's pulling drones, and now he's losing that mining time. And with this,
he does manage to micro well. I'm sorry to interrupt you. He does manage to micro quite well right now, and it looks like he does defend his hatchery, which is a bad thing for Teal Zerg because he did go an aggressive kind of push build, and he has a low drone saturation, and his Zerglings are dead, so he has no defense whatsoever right now.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing to note, though, is that hatchery is now dead. I was going to say it had 9 HP, but now it's dead. And, I mean, now that just puts, Go-Go in slightly of a more, aggressive standpoint now. But the other thing is, like you were saying, though, Backaroo doesn't really have much of a defense. I mean, he went for an early lair, or guess what the standard lair timing for his ZVZ would be, and is getting a Spire really fast. So that if he's going to be able to defend, I think it's going to maybe just take this game. But, at the same time, we do have that lair coming up for Go-Go. But Go-Go's going to be in the main base of Backaroo right now, so...
And not only that, it's the fact that Go-Go did invest in those Zerglings. He's not going to have enough gas or minerals because of the drone saturation to build Mutalisks the moment his Spires hatches. Therefore, Go-Go might be able to respond in an adequate manner to this kind of build order. And he is trying to block off his Zerglings because last thing Go-Go wants right now is Teal Bakura. I'm sorry, I'm still bad with the name. Bakura Zerglings running around and killing his drones because, once again, in ZVZ, drone count is very important, and 2-3 drones make a huge difference in your economical situation.
Yeah. He kind of did, like, the last minute... Oh, he's actually in the base now, but he kind of went, like, the last minute, like, transferring up on the gas now. Like, he just waited to, like, get, like, 2 Mutalisks out, and then he's gonna just start resaturating that.
Oh yeah, and I mean, it's good that he has Mutas out right now, but the problem is he's better off sniping off the rest of the Zerglings that are in his base right now and just pushing in with Zerglings, because those Mutalisks will not do any damage because we see 2 Spore Colonies coming up right now, and by the time he gets there, one of them will be done. And he is in a big trouble right now because economically he's further behind. He has only 4 drones mining and 3 drones on gas, and that's not a good situation to be in ZVZ when your opponent has a higher drone saturation and a lot more Zerglings, and you're pretty much stuck in a defensive mode right now.
Yeah, and definitely getting that Overlord kill, though, that Overlord snipe might... I mean, I don't know if he's going to be able to drone up, but he might be able to start droning up because he is supply blocked right now, which... He won't have to worry about Mutalisks in his own base for, I mean, at least for another 30 seconds at least.
And that's true as well. And we do see a Spire going up right now, but personally, as a Zerg player, if I was in the situation that Go-Go is in right now, what I would do is I just put down a second hatchery and I spawn Zerglings. I just keep on making Zerglings instead of putting down a Spire, because that way you can just overrun your opponent and eliminate him with a Zerg rush. But because as we can see, they do have some idea of the micro, but there are certain things that they can't really manage. Like, the wall-off was pretty bad for a Teal Zerg, and that pretty much the reason why he was in trouble for a while right now.
Yeah. And the other thing is, like, this, I mean, I think, though, it's just, like, it's gonna be somewhat difficult for Backaroo to get his Lings in that mineral line. Just like the positioning of the buildings are going to make it hard for the Lings to get, like, complete around on the drones, but...
Oh yeah, and that's another thing that really shows opponents, not opponent, but players' skill is the building positioning, because as you can see, Teal player has his Spire quite open, and if 7-8 Zerglings would run in, they can easily get a nice round on it. And his mineral lines are a lot more open than the ones of the yellow Zerg. And they both going actually for Flyer's attack upgrade right now, which is quite uncommon because, oh, never mind, Teal Zerg is going for Carapace.
Yeah.
And what do you think about Go-Go going for an attack upgrade?
Well, probably definitely shows commitment to air in the general, but I mean, what I remember, one of the other co-casters saying in ZVZ, you always get, Carapace for an upgrade for Mutalisks. So I don't know. I mean, maybe just do extra DPS against Ling if he thinks, like, ultra Ling heavy, but that really not showing any identification that he's really going Ling heavy right now. He's still, like, producing mass Mutalisks right now, and still mining gas. So I mean, and getting that expansion probably just to get more gas, so you can just make more Mutalisks. So I don't really agree with going the air attack upgrade, but you know, I mean, we'll see how it's going down.
And my logical explanation to his choice of upgrade would be perhaps the fact that Teal Zerg has no anti-air defense at his main base whatsoever, and air upgrade would cause a lot more damage to drones and other buildings in his main base, which could be possible logical decision behind the upgrade choice.
I did not even I didn't even realize that he has no anti-air defense. And also +1 character's already kicked in for Byaku right now. So if you're wondering why I can continue to remember these guys' names, it's just because I have the overlay on the right of me, and I can just look at their names.
Oh yeah, but that's the thing, I don't. And, I haven't been really commentating in a long time, and I do have to admit I am having quite a trouble. But it looks like they're gonna engage in an attack right now anytime soon, because there's I'm pretty sure they have an even amount of Mutalisks. It's a difference of 1 or 2 maybe, but.
And he actually has the upgrade advantage right now as well.
Unlike Gogo.
Yeah, actually, he's just not. He needs like another 10 seconds for air attack to finish, but yeah.
And really not being careful, and at least he did manage to spread his Mutalisks in a nice manner where he would save at least 1 or 2. He really should have chose the engagement point where he could go and harass his opponent, because last thing you want to do is have a disadvantage in Mutalisk count and go and engage, because you're as we all know, Mutalisks do splash damage, and especially with Carapace upgrade, they are a lot stronger than the ones that Gogo had. And that's why he lost them all, because he didn't really think through his harassment that he's gonna do.
Yeah, and now we're just gonna see pretty much a muta. Well, okay, well, Gogo's at a muta deficit right now. Is the best way to put it. And also he can't really harass this extra base here. So I mean, Byaku is just getting further in this game lead, in my opinion. I cannot fathom an idea where he would actually lose this game now. I mean, it's 26 supply to 41. So I mean, Gogo would have to take an expand and not get punished for it. Probably the best way for him to come back in this game, but I just don't see that's possible.
And last thing Gogo want to do right now is engage, because he's aware that his opponent has his second hatchery up and running, his second gas is kicked in, and the Mutalisk count is probably higher. If you're in a Gogo situation, you would assume that the Mutalisk count is higher, and you would try not to engage. And he is doing the right thing by just trying to play defensive and a macro up, but he really needs to start taking his second base as soon as possible, or else he's going to lose because of economical disadvantage that he's in right now. Because having 2 hatcheries and only 1 gas and producing mutas out of them is not really effective against 2 gas, 2 hatch muta build.
Yeah, and the one thing though you could say for Gogo is that he's sending out Scourge, but is he gonna go after Overlord? Well, I guess that helps, I guess. I would rather see those on Mutalisks, but yeah, whatever.
I guess he's just trying to buy some times, but then again, if you ever send Scourge out to attack Mutalisks, you should never send them by their own, because Scourge is a very weak unit and it gets sniped off easily. So I guess his logic was to buy some time and supply block his opponent, and looks like he's gonna go for another harassment. And his mistake right now is that he's going for the mineral drones that are mining minerals, because at this point in any game actually for Zerg, the gas is more important than minerals, because Zerg is a gas heavy race in StarCraft.
Yeah. I think might have been one of the logic though. It's just like, if the drones are more like, you know how the Mutalisks do the Wave Worm, splash damage. I mean, what is there, like 1 drone at a time or 2 drones at a time that are like out exposed when they're mining gas, versus like the 10 that are out mining minerals? Maybe trying to just do as much drone damage as possible. But yeah, I can definitely see that.
That could be a possibility, because Glaive Worm actually does, it bounces off 3 times, so the first time it does the actual 9 damage, the second time it does 3 damage, and then it does 1, the last hit does 1 damage, but it also depends on how he's microing his mutas, because if you're using the H command where Mutalisks, they pretty much don't target all at the same drone, they try to hit different drones, then it's going to be a lot more effective, just like against Eminem.
Yeah.
So what are your predictions, or what do you think about the way this game is going on right now? What would you do in a situation if you're a Gogo, or if you were Bakuria?
Well, I normally play random, so I rarely ever get mirror matchups, and I rarely ever play Brood War. But I think Byakko would just be in a situation where he could just take like a third base, and then just like pretty much just out macros, just deny the base for Gogo for as long as you can. I mean, what he's setting up a couple Zerglings right now, and not really going to be able to do too much, even getting up probably a Sunken, not a natural. And he's doing very, very well. I mean, look at the Mutaflock compared to both players right now. I mean, it's like very, very different. 73 supply to 43. I mean, Gogo is still harassing the Overlord count, which is definitely helping. But, you know, at the same time, he's using Scourge to do so, or at least for the first part, and that's wasting gas on that. Just less Mutalisks. But, I mean, Gogo needs to do some kind of harassment, and he's been trying to do that. It's just not super effectively. Ooh.
And that was that was a careless move by Bakura. I don't know if you saw that he just ran into the Scourge.
Oh yeah, I did.
Yeah. And I don't know why Bakura would engage right now, but he will lose all his Mutalisks if he's not gonna pull away. And I guess his bet, he's going all in right now because he does have that +2 Carapace upgrade, and it is very effective even against Spore Colonies, because it takes a few extra hits to kill Mutalisks when they have that Carapace upgraded.
Yeah, I mean,
and it does look like what Teal Zerg is trying to do right now is he's not gonna bother with going Defilers, or he did get Queen Nest, but it doesn't look like he's upgrading anything. So he is just gonna try to overpower Gogo with upgrades and just harass him and deny his expansion for as long as he can, therefore pretty much suffocating him economically and pushing him out of the game.
Yeah, the other thing you have to remember is, like, when he was engaging into Gogo's main base, there was still Mutalisk on Mutalisk battles down like near where Byakko's third would be, and Byakko still had a higher Muta count there, and not to mention that he has a higher upgrade count as well. I mean, what is it, 2-1 compared to 1 of Gogo? Still no more upgrades, but I mean, still, he's even putting on a macro hatch just to go out even more. He might even go for like a link bust at this point, maybe. Might just be a better option, but I don't know.
Oh yeah, and if I was Gogo, I would GG at this point, because Gogo, I guess he does not have the information of the scouting information that he should have right now, and I don't know if you can see whether he discovered his second base or not, his natural expansion, because I can't do the vision thing. But anyways, Gogo is still on 1 hatchery. He's not going to be able to produce Mutalisks as in the same amount that Teal Zerg would, because he's in 2 hatcheries and his third is about to be done. Therefore, his Mutalisk count is going to grow 3 times as fast as of Gogo's, and that's the problem he's in right now.
I think Brood War players have this like mindset to just never quit their game. Of what I've noticed in Clan League, they just do not want to GG out before they're like completely dead. I don't know what's with the mindset, but sometimes I'm like, well, just die. Even with the D-rank individual league that I casted yesterday, there was like a game that could have ended like 15 minutes beforehand, but like Terran had like, it was a TVP, and Terran just did not. I mean, Terran had like 3/4 of like the bases on the map, and like protests that should never happen in TVP. He's just GG at that point. But he just slowly waited for the whole mech army just to eventually just kill off all of his expands until he had 1 mining base. And it was like, this is like the worst thing to cast ever.
I guess the logic behind that is your hope is the thing that dies last in you, and what every Brood War opponent hopes, every Brood War player hopes their opponent will do is just maybe not even attack, but move his units on the minimap, and you can like some kind of mistake your opponent will do that will get you back into the game or give you some kind of advantage, and that's the mindset that most of Brood War players have. Because StarCraft is about trying to dominate over your opponent.
Yeah.
And it looks like Gogo's going to lose this battle, and it does look like there's going to be a GG anytime soon right now.
Yeah, I really cannot. I mean, even with that, though, I mean, like, you should just acknowledge the fact that you're so far behind. Okay, there's the GG. But I was just going to say... Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, just go ahead, finish your thoughts.
I was just going to say, like, when you're, like, that far behind, like, you should just, like... well, he's getting to third base. He has another base. I haven't killed it off the last 10 minutes. He's got to be able to out-macro me. I mean, there's just some certain indications where you're like, okay, I cannot win.
I guess, but the other thing about it is that maybe they have some kind of personal thing going on between each other, like a feud or some kind of beef, as people like calling it, and it was just a matter of being ignorant towards another person. Maybe that's the kind of logic people have. Like, even take StarCraft 2 pro scene, where this infamous person named Idra, who's being a complete D-bag to people and just being disrespectful. And I mean, that's what StarCraft is about. Sometimes you got to throw in a manner pylon, a manner command center, or sometimes you just got to wait till your opponent eliminates you and annoy him.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's true. It's just kind of fun.
Oh, yeah. And that's why StarCraft is fun, because you can express your manners and your emotional rage or feelings towards your opponent by just doing something like building a command center in front of his entrance or something like that.
Very true. But you can't send down mules, though. Like, you can't put down, like, 8 orbital commands and just mule out his base. It's kind of fun to do that if you're so far ahead.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't play StarCraft 2. I've played it a couple times, but...
Oh, you don't get the reference. Okay, fine. Why are we going to game number 2?
Alright, and it looks like it's on Fighting Spirit, and it's a ZVZ. Oh, it's the same players, if I believe. Except this time, LRM Bakuriu is the red Zerg, and he spawned at the top right, I believe. And his opponent is the same location that he was in the last game, except the map is Fighting Spirit. And what do you think about the map choice for this matchup, Fitz?
Fighting Spirit, balanced map, big map. Definitely Meatless Sphere would be probably pretty heavy. I mean, this is the ramp. I mean, it's very much like Sniper's Ridge. I mean, pretty much. I mean, you can pretty much just wipe the whole center of Sniper's Ridge out, and you almost have an identical map to Fighting Spirit. But and you know, the ridges don't really play a role in ZVZ, at least to like the mid game. But I think I've never even seen a late game ZVZ before, anyway. But yeah, I wouldn't know like who to favor this map, but like I mean, maybe a more macro style might be a little bit more favored. I've seen you know 12 hatches before, which have worked on this map, but can get punished. So I wouldn't say there's like super. I don't think it's like a terrible choice for Zerg versus Zerg, but I don't think it really favors either playstyle either. I mean, the map's big, but it's not too huge that you can't go like 9 pool. So. Oh
yeah, and I guess their logic to the choice of 4-player map in ZVZ these days is because it eliminates the chance that your opponent is going to go a 4 pool, because you either going to be completely oblivious to the game strategy and just go 4 pool and try to find your opponent, because it is a 4-player map and you have 1 in 3 chances that your opponent is cross spawned from you,
yeah.
which makes 4 pool or like other kind of aggressive opening early rush build order is just useless. And it does look like they're both are going for fairly identical build orders, except this time Bakuriu is actually throwing down his second hatchery at his main base. And the thing about ZVZ is that your second hatchery doesn't really give you that much advantage if you put in a natural expansion in the beginning, because as we mentioned earlier, second hatchery is needed to produce units for the most part, and it's usually around 10-15 minute mark when you actually start to feel the benefits of your natural expansion. Which is a smart move in my opinion for Bakura, the Red Zerg, to put his hatchery in his main base, therefore making it easier to defend from an early Zerg kind of harassment.
Yeah, I like this. I like this playstyle a lot more in Zerg vs Zerg, putting the macro hatch in your main base instead of taking it as an expand, because, well, for one, like last game, you know, it also like restricts, you know, the movement of the mineral line somewhat more. So you have like not like a super secure SimCity, but it just does that a little bit more. You can put more Sungans behind it, but not only that though, you can't really get punished for putting it down there. Oh, okay, now I can get punished for putting down another macro hatch on the natural, but I mean, when you do that, you're not going to get easily as punished. You can, and you also, in this regard, I feel like it's going to go for more of a Ling heavy. In my opinion, I feel like that might be what he's going for right now, but we'll see.
Oh yeah. And as you mentioned earlier, the macro hatch at the main base, what it actually does is, if you see at the positioning, it does shorten a distance for drones on the far side corners of the mineral lines. Therefore, it does increase the efficiency of the mineral line. Oh, and it looks like they're going to engage in a battle right now. I'm sorry, it's battle comes first all the time to me. So looks like Red Zerg did lose a couple Zerglings right now, and he's forced to retreat. He is putting down his third hatchery though, so he is looks like he is gonna go all in Zerglings. He's not even mining his gas right now.
Yeah, I think he was just going for. Does he have speed? Yeah.
Yeah, he has speed, and it looks like he's just gonna try to overrun his opponent. And to me, to be honest, it doesn't look like it's gonna happen because Purple Zerg Gogo is actually putting down quite a. He's putting down a second sunken colony at his main entrance, and he does have at least 24 links down there already.
Yeah, so,
and he is building more.
Yeah, and that's gonna be really hard to break. You could, if you. What I like to see Bianca do in this situation is like, okay, well, how many lings does he have? I mean, he's forced out a ton of lings. Well, he's gonna push out now, but I was gonna say he could send in a ling there. Ooh. Yeah, I think even Gogo actually has more lings than Bianca actually does. Oddly enough, even though he's at a 3 hatchery.
Yeah, no, I think they actually did have the same amount of lings. It's just that Bakura has his spread all over the map because he is trying to engage in a battle, and for Gogo it's a lot easier to just rally your hatchery to a natural expansion, which is not that far. Therefore his lings are all there in a matter of seconds, unlike Red Zerg.
Yeah, and one thing to note though is that his Spire, Gogo's Spire is, you know, halfway done. I'm not sure. I think we'll probably have to see an evolution chamber coming down from Yaku momentarily, so he doesn't take too much casualties from the Mutalisk coming in. But yeah,
and it does look like Bryaku actually just scouted the Spire, which in my opinion was a good placement for Gogo to put the Spire there, because that way he created this kind of confusion for his opponent, making him think that he's going all in Zerglings while his Spire is almost done, and Bakura just found that out, and he has no evolution chamber or anything like that even building yet.
Yeah, he needs to put that down like immediately. Okay, there he goes. Okay, he's putting 1 creep colony down on the natural.
And his main looks completely insecure right now, and that's going to be the problem because there are Mutalisks building already, I believe. Yes, there's at least 1 Mutalisk, actually, because all the other things are Zerglings for some reason. I don't know why, but Gogo just decided to go get some Zerglings.
Yeah, Lane Bust against a 3 hatch opponent's not going to work. Okay, now he's trying to put down creep colonies in his mineral line. Okay, so I think you probably need at least like 2 to fend off Mutalisks effectively, just so they just don't do too much damage, so they don't ransack your base. Because I've seen, well, like 2v2s of how bizarre they are. Like sometimes there's like their own ZVZ in like the 2v2 itself. And what happened was, one time it was just like 1 hatch, like it was like 1 base Mutalisks versus like like one base like Ling All In, and he had like the Ling All In guy had like 4 like spore colonies in the mineral line, but it didn't even matter. Like the other Zerg just didn't care, and then just completely just decimated the entire mineral line, and from just like one hatch beetles. It was ridiculous.
And I do have to say the reason why I like Brood War is because odd things tend to happen in this game, because it is quite balanced, well, especially when you have 2 players playing the exact same race, so there shouldn't be any kind of complaints about imbalances or whatnot, so they're pretty much at the even level to begin with, and it's all a matter of losing a couple units where you get in trouble and might lose the game just because you lost a drone in 2-minute mark or so.
That's a lot of lings, and that sunk is exposed too.
But the reason why Zerg tend to expose their Sunken first is because that way Zerglings actually start to attack the Sunken, which has a lot more HP than Zerglings do. Okay. And it kind of plays the role of Ultralisks in ZVP, where Ultralisks just absorb all the fire that comes into the army ball.
Yeah, and
He did manage to get those Zerglings out quite in time, but there is that Mutalist that might actually swing the favor into Purple's, into Gogo's side.
Yeah.
And
oh yeah. He's also getting +1 carapace as well. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Sorry.
No, and I'm just quite amused by what's going on at his natural base, because he did send his drones in for some reason, which is, in my opinion, a very irrational move, because he did lose a couple of them.
Well spoken.
And he is putting down some colonies in an attempt to defend, but there's 5 Mutalisks, and 5 Mutalisks can easily pick off 3 spore colonies before they even spawn.
You know, I think it's more or less just for stalling, if you could call it that. He has a Spire up, he's getting Scourge out. I'm not sure if the Scourge at that natural expansion is going to be doing much.
And he just lost this. Oh, and it does look like he might just barely be able to fend that off, and yes. That spore colony decided to come up right in time.
Yeah, and you're gonna be seeing these links from Gogo just to try to finish off the hatchery right now.
Oh yeah, he could even snipe it off with Mutalist, because he has at least 9 of them in there, and that's maybe 2 or 3 hits on the hatchery from the stack. And he did send in Zerglings, but he is concentrating on the spore colonies because he knows that his Mutalist count is a lot higher, and he's just gonna go in with Mutalist after Zerglings pick off whatever air defenses he has.
Yeah, Byaku, I mean, benefit, he does have the 2 hatcheries in his main base, but you know, to Gogo, I mean, he's not even mining from his main. That's bizarre.
Oh yeah.
No, I mean, look at his drone count. It's laughably worse than what we saw from Byaku. What?
Oh, and I to be quite honest, I don't understand the whole situation that's going on right now, because he had drones moving around from his natural base to his main base. As you can see right now, he's moving drones back to his main base, and oddly enough, his natural gas is not even taken yet, and he's going all in Muta right now.
I don't think Gogo is. I mean, Gogo might be just going all in. I mean, even with the natural, I mean, what do they have? 4 drones, 6. He has 9 drones.
He is indeed going all in right now, and if he's not going to be able to pick off those 2 Mutalisks right now, he might lose this game, because those 2 Mutalisks are defending his mineral lines right now, and it looks like he will be able to push off those Mutalisks and deny the harassment. But Kura is actually, in my opinion, he does have advantage over his opponent right now once again, unless he's going to lose all those drones.
Yeah, he needs to keep those drones alive, yeah.
What he could have done, and the other thing is, he has so many Zerglings, what he could have done is just run past these sunken colonies and pick off all the drones that he has in his main base, and it does look like that's what he's gonna do. Because at this point, killing off as many drones as you can is the only kind of counter you can manage. And it does look like 2 Zerglings just managed to slip in, and probably not going to do much damage because there are Mutalisks and Zerglings to stall any kind of attack on drones.
Yeah, you really... this is a bizarre... I've seen so many bizarre games in the last 2 days. It's kind of awesome, but... Yeah, this is not a standard at all.
Is this a D-level league?
No,
GG plus?
Clan League is like anywhere from A to D to E. It's just teams. So I mean, LRM. This is probably a high level, actually. Well, LRM's like a pretty high level clan out there, team, whatever you want to call them. And you know, the Clan League team, you know, gave me the reps to cast, and they were like, well, because the Division A team, the Division A is like the most like well skilled out there. They're choosing the best matchup, so I'm assuming this is gonna be a good series anyway. But like, I have to assume that, I mean, if it's gonna be a good series, I'm assuming that Noobs is probably a pretty high level team as well.
But I don't know if you saw that right now or not. He actually did manage to kill off at least 5 drones right now, and force him to not mine at his main base once again. And to be quite honest, it is hard to tell who has an advantage right now because Red Zerg, I just don't know this guy's name. I can't pronounce it. So Bakaru. He did run a couple of his Mutalisks into Scourge, so he did lose. And he's actually GGing right now, which I think is was a rush decision. Because last game he well, I guess last game he won, and this game he lost.
Wait, so we saw, yeah, that's okay, so it's 1-1. Oh, okay, that's not 11. We don't want 11. He did not win 11 games. Do not go with the overlay, do not. It's just one. Well, that's kind of silly because I don't have another replay. So, I'll have to go look, but so that did tie up the series right there. Sadly, I was kind of actually wanting to see the last game of that series really badly now, but yeah, I have to go look at who won that. Okay, Division A. If you go to week number 6.
But going back to the last game, I just think he GG'd a bit too early because I have no idea what he did. Well, why would he GG at that point? Because I guess once again going back to the scouting information and lack of scouting.
Okay, Biaku won that series. Biaku won that series, yeah. I don't know how that went down, but he won the next game. So Biaku won that game. So anyway, yeah, I don't know. Well, it probably could have gone on for longer, to be completely honest. I don't exactly know what really justified him leaving the game. I mean, he had a higher drone count. He did lose 3 drones in the natural. I mean, that would have been a wave of Mutalisks that he would have had, but I don't know.
But and that is quite a thing. I've heard some people used to win games by just sending a bunch of like a cloud of speed overlords into someone's base, and before they dropped anything, a person would GG, and turns out that the overlords didn't even have anything in them. And I guess it's the idea that your opponent might give it an irrational decision because he sees something and he's not going to give it a second thought, and he's just going to GG and leave the game.
Yeah, it happens. Yeah. I normally just lift off my command center until the last part anyway, just to be a jerk, but yeah. Or put like or put a commander next to Nexus in the center of the map, even though I've lost, but it's okay.
Alright, so what's this game we're gonna be doing now?
It's Choosy versus LRM, Choosy versus someone else. I have to go change the overlay, I don't know. I'll introduce the players. Spawning in the bottom left on Sniper's Ridge will be the White Zerg LRM Evolutions Choosy as the White Zerg. And then spawning in the bottom right, it will be the Yellow Terran Noobs Terror. Yep.
And what I have to say is, since I am a Zerg player, I do prefer Zerg. However, in personal experience, I never really liked not Sniper's Ridge. I believe this is Fighting Spirit.
No, Sniper's Ridge.
Oh, Sniper's Ridge. I do not like Sniper's Ridge in ZVT if I play as a Zerg because of the whole... because Sniper's Ridge is a Terran favoring map because of the whole idea of mech, siege tanks, and whatnot, and the Ridges do put them in quite a hard to get spot, and it just pisses me off whenever my opponent goes mech or goes bio with a couple siege tank and just sets a contain on me somewhere on a ridge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, how could you... I don't know, I mean, you could say the same thing for lurkers, though. I mean, lurkers can get on those ridges, and most of the time that I've talked to people, they actually say that this is actually more Zerg's favorite map, but what have you.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I've never really been that great of a Zerg player. I've only been like C- or something, but... And, I don't know... I'm more of a, to be quite honest, the only map I really enjoy playing on is Python because I know it so well because I've played it for years and it's just like one of the maps I like, and for some reason I also like Heartbreak Ridge.
Oh.
Even though it's not really a Zerg favorite map in CVT.
Yeah.
Because of the whole back thing on your natural expansion.
Yeah.
Where you can, where your opponent can just siege up and kill your drones and whatnot.
Yeah, my favorite map's Destination because I can cheese on that map really well, and it's fun. You get like properly 5 barracks in someone's base without them knowing. It's great, and you can win games against Protoss by going bio because it's so much fun. But it has like a 10% win rate.
Oh yeah, and it does look like the he is going yellow Terran named Terror. He is going for a fast expansion. He's quite indecisive, I have to tell you that though, because he did lift off his barrack for a moment and then he landed it. He's not building any kind of Marines right now.
There he goes.
Or anything like that. I do have to say I don't really see the logic behind putting down a supply depot as of yet, because he is building a command center and it's halfway done and it's going to give him 10 supply. And let's see how White Zerg is going to react to that. He did put down the 3rd macro hatch, and his natural expansion is already running. He's not going to build any Zerglings. He's building only 2. So what do you think about this kind of response that Choosy's doing? That Choosy chose?
Choosy macro hatch, 3 hatch meatless probably. Not a bad... Well, this map, yeah, I guess the natural you can do it because there's not a ton of surface area to put missile turrets, but I don't know. It's hard to get in the main base to get there because there's just so much surface area that you have to run through with meatless. I mean, unless he's going some different tech path, I would have to assume 3 has meatless, but unless he's going for a Ling Bust, which would be pretty silly. But yeah, I don't agree with going 3 hatch meatless because that's what he's planning to go. Because I mean, it's just hard to. I mean, the whole point of that is just to harass the ass out of the Terran. But you know, this map is not going to be easy to do that on.
Oh yeah, and as we all know, that Zerg is the race where you have to have a 1 base over what your opponent has, and this is a disadvantage that Choosy is in right now because he should have had his 3rd hatch building or even done by now. He is not, however, planning on doing that anytime soon. Instead, he did get a layer and a 2nd gas, so it does look like it's going to be your predicament where he's going to go for 3 hatch mutas, which in my opinion is not going to be as effective because his engineering bay is already up, and he is by he I mean Terra Yellow Terran. He is upgrading +1 attack for Marines, and Academy is going up right now, so it's going to be hard to do enough damage to get yourself back in a position where you're even with a fast expand Terran.
I mean, yeah, I mean, both players are going pretty, like, textbook, you know, standard stuff. I mean, like you were saying, I mean, Zerg optimally wants to be off of another base, but, you know, that third base is a little far off on this map, and I think what a lot of Zergs have to deal with right now, especially with, you know, with the bio going Terran, which is like what Terror's doing right now. You know, that bio push, normally you'll see hits the natural, but if they realize that there's a third out there, now your natural and thirds, you know, you have to like split up your sunkens that way, and then it's just more harder for a Zerg to hold off. You know, that's what sometimes Zergs have to do in ZVP a lot of the times, that you have to like, it's hard, it's a struggle to keep that third base going, and Terran does that like timing push with like, you know, like a dozen Marines and like 4 Mutalisks, and that's an issue. And then, you know, the other thing though is, I mean, like, I feel like though, I mean, very textbook, and I mean, Terror doesn't even know, like, he really hasn't gotten any kind of scouting information really off this. He's just assuming 3 hatch Mutalisks, which, I mean, it's just like, he's just kind of metagaming right now. I mean, he's putting down, you know, an eBay, but he's gonna probably putting up turrets, I mean, just soon anyway. Okay, there goes down the skin. I would be surprised for, you know, Mr. to be coming up right now. But I mean, he got an eBay, so I get it looks like maybe Stim with Stim timing push, like I was saying. Like, if this push happened when he took a quick third, it'd be really difficult to actually kind of do anything, because, you know, to take that third, you'd either like have to like reduce tech, you wouldn't get your Mutalisks out, and etc. But, you know, again, I still don't agree with 3 hatch Mutalisks right now.
Oh yeah, and but what normally, and the problem with Choosy right now is the fact that he's unaware what kind of he expects all-in bio kind of build order, but he doesn't know for sure. And the problem is that if you do know that your opponent is going heavy bio, you can even skip on the Mutalisk and go in straight lurkers. Yeah. And I do have to note one more thing, is that his hatchery placement for a third is quite weird. I mean, it's something that you normally do in a ZVP, where you take the natural first and then you progress into where the main base would be. Yeah. But
oh yeah, go ahead.
As we all know, in ZVT you usually take the main base expansion, and then you just block off your ramp with 2 lurkers is more than enough to block off a dozen of Marines and a bunch of medics. So he is in a disadvantage right now.
He will be standing before that third sunken's down. He might just be able to just bust right through this. I don't think Choosey's going to be really ready for this, but at the same time he's going off the castle. So, I mean, base trading scenario, but I guess at least though, you know, Choosey's getting up that third hatch. That's finishing up right now. Third base.
And this is a painful scenery to watch for me as a Zerg player, because I do have to admit, before I started to get into this whole like build order ideas and like reading about what kind of responses I should make, this is the kind of scenario that would happen to me, where Terran would just build a bunch of Marines and medics and just bust in through the main base. Because it's so easy, because Zerg never really tend to put down more than 3 or 4 hatchery, sunken colonies in his natural base.
Oh wait, who won that game? Choosy? No, Terran did. I was trying to remember the races. I know Terran won. I was just like, whoa, wait, hold on. Yeah, I mean, we even saw like a quoted GG there from Choosy right there, which is kind of funny. But yeah, I mean, definitely like, I don't know, what a lot of what I've seen of just Brood War lately is that a lot of players are just like, they're just kind of like metagaming. They're just like, well, I'm just gonna go this build order and just see if it works and win me games, when, you know, it would have been very easy to fend that off if we just went. I mean, you could still go 3 hatch lurker. It's still possible, I think, at least. And then you just put up lurkers on there. You get your sunkens up in time. And I mean, yes, you have to somewhat assume with the Zerg for the early game against Terran, because they wall off. But you know, what can they do off of 2 base? I mean, you get your Spire up eventually, you get Scourge for Wraith and whatnot. But I mean,
Oh yeah.
It was like it was a predicament that I think the Zerg could have really handled much better. Just get that hydrogen up faster. Get your hydrogen like around 2/3 before your layer's done. Go get quick lurkers, and you would have been fine. I mean, what can he do? I mean, you have 3 lurkers and a choke point. Marines can't really kite that really that effectively.
Oh yeah, or like the alternative that Zerg player can do is actually once you have your second base up, you can start building Zerglings, because the army he had. It wasn't. I did notice that. I believe it was Choosy, the Zerg player, didn't have. He had a very few Zerglings. He had maybe like 12 or so, and that's something you do not want to do. Is save on Lings, especially when your opponent is going fast expansion, because Lings are very effective in surrounding Marines and medics and just straight up eliminating them on the spot. You don't even need sunken colonies or whatnot if you have 3 or 4 groups of Zerglings.
Yeah, it's very true. The one thing though, like, if you want to join the game, by the way, the one thing though, like, with Ling heavy, it just with that engagement, it's a. I mean, I'm not a Zerg player. I random, but like, it's Lings tend to die really quick to stim Marines with medics. They just kind of just melt, especially when you can't get like. I don't know. It's kind of hard to get surrounded in a choke, like in the natural like choke area. I don't know.
Oh yeah, but there's always things like actually a common Zerg versus Terran strategy is whenever you see a Terran pushing into your base, you just go for a Zergling backstab, which means that you have Zergling somewhere in remote.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. That's what he did actually. That's what he had Lings on the right side of the map and went in. But didn't kill it. I'm not sure if you're looking at the Terran, but like there was a huge engagement happening over there as well. There was he had to lift off. I'm not sure if the command center got killed off, but yeah, he had to lift off and like do it. Yeah, that's pretty much what happened.
I'm not gonna lie, I did not see that happen, and that's why.
It's good. Yeah, my eyes are kind of glued to the mini map, so you're just like, well, what's going on? There's white dots in yellow territory. What's happening? What's going on?
Oh yeah. All right, so what are we gonna commentate now?
Game number 2 of the series is the map's gonna be on Othello, and if you want to introduce the players.
It's Choosy versus Terran, and Choosy's is the white Zerg at a 4 o'clock position, I believe. And Terra is the blue Terran at the 7 o'clock position.
Yep.
And I can't really tell you much about Othello because I don't know this map that well. It's mostly used in TVP and TVT kind of matches in Pro League, because I enjoy watching Pro League, and I noticed that they tend to choose this map for PVT and TVT and whatnot.
Well, oh yeah.
So, what do you think? Do you think this map favors more Zerg or Terran in this case?
I think there's a potentiality for a Ling buff. I think you can kind of fuck up a Terran's wall by killing off the power generator if they decide to fast expand. Because now they have this huge show point. Just one thing to note here. I haven't really seen it, but it is very possible that could happen. Now, for Zerg, I don't watch Pro League because I don't understand Korean, but, or, I don't know. I've just never been able to attach myself well to the Pro League. But anyway, your third is kind of really hard to take on this map. I mean, the only safe, quote-unquote, third would be one of those, like, far-off naturals, which, like you were saying, though, a lot of Zergs do it. I don't agree with it because it's so far off and you can just easily isolate that base and kill it off, but that's where Zerg's going to have to take a third base. That's the only place they really can take a third base on this map, because, I mean, if you look at the third, it's very open, very prone to drops. I mean, you can even, like, siege tank that area if you get a dropship and just shell it out. So, I don't know. It's going to be very, very interesting how it's going to play out.
Oh yeah, and that's the thing about being a Zerg player, is that you cannot be aggressive until a mid or late mid game. It's preferred not to be aggressive as a Zerg player, and at the same time, yet you do have to have a map control to be able to defend your bases, because Zerg does tend to have his expansions all over the map, like not close enough to be able to just turtle up like Terran usually does because of the whole siege tanks and turrets and whatnot. And it looks like Terra is actually going to try to go for natural expansion, and he is going for a fast expansion right now, and not a good idea because of, as you mentioned earlier, because of the choke, and because it does look like spawning pool is about to finish. There are no larvae, however, which means there's going to be very few Zerglings.
Yeah, well, I can't tell. Is he going link speed, or is it just normal gas timing? I can't.
It does look like he went for a 12. He did go for a 12 hatch.
No, he's just going for quick lair, so he would skip over speed for the time being.
Yeah,
okay.
It looks like he's gonna go for a 2 hatch Muta, which is I don't understand personally why would he go 2 hatch Muta against a fast expansion where a choke is so wide open that you can just build, I don't know, 12 Zerglings, run in and destroy whatever you want.
Well, I mean, it's not the typical close by air positions where you're like on the same side of the map, but you know, there is maneuverability for Mutalisks to get in the main base. I'm trying to figure out how big the main base is. I mean, 2-hatch Mutalisks, it's kind of more of like a cheesy strat, but yeah, you can go from like right from the east, and then you're pretty much right in that mineral line of the main base. And the mineral line is very okay. There, we're even seeing the power generator being killed off right now, but Terra decided to not wall off like with that, so that that power generator is gonna go down. I think, but. You know, just to go off the 2-hatch Mutalisk, I mean, like, you can get in there, but, you know, at the same time, though, Terror just all he has to do is put up, like, 5 missile turrets, and then, you know, Mutalisks are done again. And, you know, you could have gone, I mean, like, you can even see, like, 2 lanes goes off the power generator at the wall. We could have seen, like, a lurker contain, I feel like. And, you know, since, you know, Terror with that bio build last game, I'm surprised he's going Spire again.
Oh, yeah, and I mean, it is very ironic because this is pretty much, this defines insanity. He did lose the last game with this kind of build order, so he's going for the exact same build order right now. And I guess what he's hoping for is that his opponent is not going to have his engineering bay in time and just catch him off guard. And that's what often happens in this kind of situation, is that whenever Terran goes for a fast expansion and he does not see a high amount of Zerglings, he assumes that his opponent is going for a 3rd hatch or a 3rd base somewhere, and more of a macro style build order. And that's why they tend to get their engineering bay a lot later, and that's why sometimes you can catch a Terran player off guard with no turrets whatsoever if you go 2-hatch Mutalisks.
Yeah, that's definitely the kind of like juking your opponent. Well, he's just like that. eBay's just finishing up, so yep, turrets have started. That did not juke him off whatsoever. I mean, the other thing, I mean, you have to like know, it's like metagame for Brood War is like the most like consistent thing ever. It does not change that fast. So, I mean, Zergs of late have gone 3-hatch Mutalisks in this matchup, and I mean, he doesn't even need to care. He also scans the Mutalisks, and he's like, well, I'm gonna put up turrets now. So, I mean, I just can't justify going this right now. Neither game has really shown any kind of optimal map. I mean, yeah, I mean, this map isn't terrible to go 2-hatch Mutalisks for 3-hatch Mutalisks on, but I mean, 2-hatch Mutalisks is kind of like, if I recall, is somewhat more moderately all-in than any other kind of like Mutalisk.
Oh yeah, and I definitely agree with you on that, because as a Zerg player myself, whenever you go a 2-hatch Mutalisk against a fast expansion, is that you either do sufficient enough damage to put your opponent into such a, like, to create enough gap between you and your opponent and then dominate him later on in the game, or you lose all your Mutalisks and get steamballed by Marines and medics.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, I'm just trying to hard to justify this. I mean, he's going into like stim Marines too with medics, which, you know, I mean, what can he do? I mean, like, he has to use these Mutalisks for something now, but he can't. There's not a single opening in the Terran base.
Well, what he is doing though, and he is being smart about it, is that he knows that turrets can't really see what's going on the high terrain, and he is going to try to pick off those turrets. He did fly away, however. But whenever Terran does go for this kind of build order, what you want to do is you want to catch a couple Marines of guard every now and then, and kind of just keep on constantly harassing your opponent and doing as much damage as you can without losing your Mutalisks. And the problem is, though, is that he does not have enough Mutalisks. You gotta have at least 11 to be as efficient as you can in with a 2-attached Muta harassment.
Yeah. And the problem is he's going in. I mean, like you said, like.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he's going in there trying to.